The Galactic Empire tried to intimidate human enemy ships appeared. Humans burst into laughter. The stars were quiet that day. In the vast emptiness of space, the human colony ship Liberty Star moved steadily along its route. It carried hundreds of people, men, women, and children, all looking forward to a new life on the edge of explored space. Captain Daniel Hayes stood on the bridge, leaning on the railing as he watched the stars streak past. He was a tall man with short brown hair and calm green eyes. Even in tense situations, he rarely showed fear. "Captain!" a voice called. It was Lieutenant Megan Foster, the ship's chief engineer. She was a smart woman in her late 20s, with a quick mind and quicker hands. "Our scanners just picked up something strange. A large fleet is approaching. It's not human." Daniel frowned. "Strange how?" "They're huge," Megan replied, tapping on the console. "They're heavily armed. Their ships are arranged in a perfect formation, like they are expecting a fight. They're coming straight for us." Daniel straightened. The Galactic Empire. He had heard of them, of course. They were a powerful empire, ruling over many star systems with strict control and advanced weapons. They were known for crushing anyone who resisted. Many humans feared them, but not Daniel. He turned to the crew. "All right, people," he said, his voice calm and steady. "They think they can scare us. Let's see how brave we really are." The crew looked at him, some nervous, some excited. Among them was Lucas Parker, the young pilot who loved flying more than anything. He grinned, showing the kind of excitement that only a fighter pilot could feel when faced with danger. "Finally some action," he muttered. "Captain," Megan said, pointing at the screens. "They're sending a message. They want us to surrender. They're warning us to stay out of their way." Daniel read the message. It was full of arrogance and threats. "Humans are weak. Submit or face destruction." The crew read it too. Instead of fear, they started laughing. Quiet at first, then louder. Even Daniel chuckled. "They don't know us at all," he said. Emily Blake, the ship's communications officer, shook her head with a smile. "I've read their reports. They always expect fear. Humans rarely act like this. They must be confused." Daniel walked to the large observation window. Through it, he could see the massive ships of the Galactic Empire. Their hulls were polished, their engines glowing with power. They looked perfect and frightening, like predators ready to strike, but Daniel and his crew were not afraid. They knew humans had something the Empire didn't expect. Humans had courage, creativity, and a sense of humor. "Prepare the ship," Daniel said. "Run diagnostics, check all weapons, but do it calmly." "We are not scared. We are human, and we do not give up easily." Megan nodded. "I'll make sure everything is ready." "But, Captain, our weapons are small compared to theirs. We need to be smart, not just brave." Daniel smiled. "That's the point. We will be clever. Humans are always clever." Meanwhile, the Empire's commander, Admiral Collins, looked at his fleet from his command ship. He was a tall man in a black uniform, his face stern and cold. "These humans," he said, "they are supposed to be weak. Why do I see no fear in their fleet?" His officers exchanged uneasy glances. Collins frowned. "They will surrender. They must. Prepare the ships. We will show them the power of the Empire." Back on the Liberty Star, the crew worked calmly. Lucas and the other pilots ran drills, practicing quick maneuvers in the ship's simulators. Megan adjusted the propulsion systems, making small improvements that would make the ship faster and more agile. Emily checked communications and sensors, making sure they could detect every move the Empire made. The humans were ready, not because they were confident in weapons, but because they trusted each other. They trusted their skills, their intelligence, and their courage. "Captain," Lucas said, "I want to fly out and see them up close. I want to check how fast their ships move." Daniel shook his head with a grin. "Not yet, Lucas. We wait. We watch. First, we see what they do, then we act. Patience is part of the fight." As the Empire's fleet came closer, their massive warships filled the view screens. The humans could see the soldiers moving inside, the lights flashing on the hulls. It was a perfect display of power. And still, the humans laughed.
"Do you think they can hear us?" Emily asked, smiling.
"Maybe," Daniel said. "But let them hear. Let them know that humans are not afraid." The Empire fired a warning shot. A huge beam of energy lit up the darkness of space, meant to scare the humans. Lucas whistled.
"That was big, but we're still here."
Megan shook her head, laughing. They have no idea how unpredictable humans are. They expect fear. They expect panic. They get nothing. Daniel turned to the crew. "Listen carefully. This is important. We are facing a bigger, stronger enemy. But we are human. We can think, we can adapt, and we can laugh in the face of danger. Remember that. Stay calm. Stay clever, and never lose your courage." The crew nodded. They understood. They were not just defending a ship or a colony. They were proving something to the universe. Humans were not easy to intimidate. Humans were clever, adaptable, and fearless. Lucas flew the first scouting mission. His small fighter darted out of the Liberty Star's bay and approached the Imperial fleet. The massive warships glowed with energy, weapons ready. Lucas stayed calm. He performed quick loops and rolls, staying out of the enemy's firing range. "Lucas, report," Daniel said. "They're fast," Lucas replied, "but not fast enough. I can see weaknesses in their formation. They're overconfident." Emily looked at the data. They don't expect small, fast ships. They think only large fleets can fight them. They don't see the humans coming. Daniel smiled.
"Exactly. We use that."
"Always. They may have more ships, but we have brains, courage, and teamwork." Megan worked on the weapons systems, making small but important adjustments.
"Our lasers are weaker, yes," she said, "but if we aim carefully and act together, we can make every shot count."
The Empire won't see it coming. The humans watched as the Empire's fleet moved closer. They were big, strong, and intimidating. But to the humans, they looked slow, predictable, and rigid. "Captain," Lucas said, returning to the ship, "they're ready to strike. They think they have us cornered. They don't know we can move, dodge, and fight differently than any other species." Daniel nodded. "Good. That is exactly what we want them to think. Let them be confident. Then we will show them the truth. We are human." The human crew gathered together not in fear, but in quiet confidence. They shared jokes, they laughed, they talked about plans. Their courage was not loud or aggressive, but calm and strong. Finally, the Empire sent a large messenger ship closer to the humans. It carried another warning: surrender immediately. Resistance is futile. You cannot defeat the Galactic Empire. Daniel read it aloud. He laughed softly. Resistance is futile? Tell that to humans. We don't give up. We don't surrender. And we don't fear anyone. Megan laughed too. They think they can scare us. Look at the size of our ships compared to theirs. They don't know humans. Lucas leaned back, grinning. They'll learn, but it will take a long time, and it will be funny watching them try. Daniel looked out of the window at the approaching fleet. The stars reflected off the massive metal hulls. They were intimidating, yes, but they were also predictable. And humans were anything but predictable. "This is just the beginning," Daniel said. "The Galactic Empire thinks it can scare us. They are wrong. We will show them that humans do not run. Humans do not fear. Humans adapt. And sometimes, humans even laugh in the face of danger." Emily smiled. "I like that, Captain. I really like that." The crew laughed again, the sound filling the bridge. Outside, the Empire's ships moved closer, their weapons glowing, their engines burning bright. But inside the human ship, there was only calm, preparation, and laughter. Humans were ready. They would not be intimidated. They would not be frightened. They would not surrender. And as the stars stretched on forever, Daniel and his crew waited, watching, planning, and knowing one thing for certain: humans were unpredictable, clever, and fearless. And the Empire was about to learn that the hard way. The Liberty Star hummed softly as it moved through space. Outside, the Galactic Empire's fleet glowed in the distance, a wall of metal and fire, ready to crush anything that opposed it. But inside the human ship, there was no fear. There was preparation, planning, and quiet laughter. Captain Daniel Hayes stood at the bridge, looking at the holographic display of the approaching fleet. He traced his finger over the large Imperial warships. "Look at them," he said. "All perfect and straight, all confident and ready." They think they have the advantage. They do not know humans. Lieutenant Megan Foster was beside him, tapping quickly on the console. "We don't have the numbers or the firepower," she said, "but we have speed, agility, and the ability to think in ways they cannot predict. That is our real advantage." Daniel nodded.
Exactly. We won't fight them like they fight.
"We'll fight like humans fight. Smart, flexible, and unpredictable."
In the hangar, small human fighters were preparing for launch.
Lucas Parker and his team of pilots checked each ship carefully. These fighters were not as large as the Empire's warships, but they were fast, agile, and could change direction in ways the enemy could not. Lucas tightened his gloves and smiled. "Let's make 'em look foolish," he said. Commander Emily Blake walked along the hangar deck, talking to the pilots. "Remember," she said, "we don't panic. We don't underestimate them, but we don't fear them. They expect fear. We give them courage instead, and a little laughter." The pilots laughed softly. It was strange to think of humor in such a dangerous moment, but humans always found a way. Humor was part of their courage. Meanwhile, Megan worked in the engineering bay. She examined the propulsion systems and the weapons. "We need to make small adjustments," she muttered. "Nothing big, nothing obvious. Just enough to give our fighters the edge. The Empire thinks they are perfect. Let's show them they are not." She moved her hands quickly, adjusting power flow and energy outputs. The fighters' engines would now have tiny bursts of speed at unexpected moments. The lasers would fire with slightly higher precision. The humans were small, but clever. Captain Daniel watched her work. "Megan, when you finish, I want a test run. We need to see how these changes work in real space." Megan smiled. "You'll like it. Humans always find a way." Back on the bridge, the sensors detected the Empire sending another scout ship. It was a small vessel compared to the massive warships, but it moved with precision and purpose. The Empire wanted to see how the humans would respond. Lucas was already in his fighter. He launched from the hangar, his ship's engines burning brightly. He flew toward the scout ship, his hands steady on the controls. The Empire expected humans to panic. They did not expect courage. Lucas circled the scout ship, weaving between the stars. The Imperial sensors tried to track him, but his movements were unpredictable. The humans had learned to use irregular patterns to confuse larger, slower ships. Emily watched from the bridge. "He's doing exactly what we planned." "The scout doesn't know where to aim. Lucas is too fast." The scout fired, but its shots missed. Lucas laughed in his helmet, a quiet, triumphant sound. "Too slow, too predictable," he said. On the Empire's side, Admiral Collins frowned. "How is this possible? Their fighters are small, but they are everywhere at once. Their movements are erratic but effective. This is not normal behavior." His officers exchanged worried looks. "Sir," one said, "they are using tactics we cannot predict. Every time we try to target them, they vanish. It is unusual." Collins slammed his hand on the console. "They are human. That is the problem. They do not think like us. We need a new strategy. Send orders to the fleet, tighten formation, and prepare for coordinated fire." Back on the Liberty Star, Lucas returned from his scouting mission. He landed smoothly, the engines quieting as he stepped out of his fighter. His eyes sparkled with excitement. "They don't know what hit them," he said. Daniel clapped him on the shoulder. "Good work, Lucas. That is how humans fight. Smart, confident, and fearless. We will use what we learned today to plan the next step." Megan joined them, wiping her hands on a cloth. "I've made more adjustments. The fighters can now perform sudden bursts of speed that will confuse even the largest ships. The Empire will not see it coming. Daniel smiled. Perfect. That is exactly what we need. Humans may be small in number, but we are never small in thinking. We adapt, we improvise, and we survive. Emily looked at the bridge monitors. Captain, the Empire's fleet is moving closer. They are positioning for attack. They are confident, but overconfident. That is our chance. Daniel nodded. Exactly. We will make them overthink. Humans are clever. Let them make mistakes. That is the human way. In the mess hall, the crew ate quietly, sharing jokes and stories. Even in the shadow of the approaching Empire, humans found laughter. It was their way of staying strong, their way of showing courage. "Do you think they are scared?" a young crew member asked. Lucas grinned. "Scared? No. Confused, maybe. They expect us to run, to hide, to fear them. We do none of that. They have never seen humans like us." Captain Daniel watched the young humans laugh. "That is it," he said. "That is the difference. Courage comes with humor, with confidence, and with clever thinking. That is how we win." Megan worked late into the night fine-tuning the systems. She adjusted the targeting arrays and propulsion bursts. Every small change was designed to confuse the Empire's sensors. Humans could not match the Empire in sheer size or firepower, but they could outthink them. By morning, the Liberty Star and its small fleet of human fighters were ready. Lucas, Megan, and Emily were at the bridge, watching the Empire approach. The massive warships glowed like stars themselves, engines roaring, weapons primed. Daniel stood tall, looking out the window. "Today," he said, "we do not fight with fear. We fight with brains, with courage, and with laughter. Let the Empire come. Let them see what humans are really capable of." The Empire's fleet fired a warning shot, a huge beam of energy meant to intimidate. The Liberty Star dodged calmly, twisting in ways the massive beam could not predict. "Missed again," Lucas shouted. Megan adjusted the ship's energy shields, keeping them steady against the small attacks. "They are confident, but sloppy. Their precision is perfect only if we stay predictable. We do not stay predictable." Emily sent a message to the Empire. A simple reply. "Humans do not surrender. We do not fear. We are ready." Admiral Collins on the other side slammed his hand on his console. "Why are they not afraid? Why do they laugh?" His officers looked at each other nervously. "Sir, their tactics are unusual. They are unpredictable. Every move we try fails. They are small, yes, but clever. And they are laughing at us." Collins gritted his teeth. "This is unacceptable. Prepare the fleet. We will not be laughed at. We will show them the power of the Empire." But the humans did not flinch. They continued to move, to adjust, to prepare. Each small fighter was ready, each human crew member confident. They were not reckless, they were careful, smart, and ready to surprise the enemy. Lucas took off again, this time with a group of other pilots. They flew in unusual patterns, weaving and looping in ways the Empire could not predict. The massive warships fired again, but their shots missed by wide margins. Megan smiled at the monitors. "Perfect. Every adjustment works. They think they can shoot us, but our unpredictability protects us." Emily laughed softly. "The Empire has never seen humans like this. They expect fear, panic, surrender. Instead, they find courage, laughter, and clever moves they cannot understand." Daniel watched the fleet carefully. "This is only the beginning. The Empire thinks they are powerful. They think we are weak. Let them think that a little longer. Let them make mistakes. And when they do, we will be ready." The humans gathered in small groups on the bridge, in the hangar, and in the mess hall. They talked quietly, laughed quietly, and prepared. They were ready for the fight to come, and more importantly, they were ready to surprise the Empire with something it had never seen before. Humans unafraid, humans clever, humans unpredictable. As the day passed, the Empire came closer. The stars reflected off the huge warships, shining with menace. But inside the Liberty Star there was only calm, confidence, and preparation. Captain Daniel turned to his crew. "Remember this," he said. "We do not fight like anyone else. We fight like humans. We adapt, we improvise, we surprise, and sometimes we even laugh at the enemy. That is our greatest strength." The crew smiled. They understood. The Empire may have had numbers, power, and weapons, but humans had courage, intelligence, and humor, and that was enough. Outside, the Imperial fleet prepared for battle. Inside, the humans prepared their own way to fight, a way the Empire could not predict. And when the time came, the humans would show the galaxy what it truly meant to be human. The stars were quiet, but tension filled the space between them. The humans were ready. The Empire did not know what awaited them. And somewhere, deep in the Liberty Star, Captain Daniel smiled. "Let them come," he whispered. "Let them see what humans can do." The vast expanse of space was quiet for a moment, almost peaceful, but the tension was thick. The Galactic Empire's fleet stretched across the horizon, massive warships glowing with power, their engines humming like 1,000 angry beasts. Every officer aboard the Empire's flagship Dominion expected to see fear in the humans. They expected them to panic, to scatter, to beg for mercy.
They were wrong. On the bridge of the human colony ship Liberty Star, Captain Daniel Hayes stood tall, watching the Empire's fleet with calm eyes.
Around him, the crew prepared for the first real encounter. Small human fighters, light and fast, were ready to launch. Their engines glowed softly, their pilots calm and confident. Lieutenant Lucas Parker grinned as he strapped into his fighter. "Time to give them a show," he said. His voice was steady, but excitement shone in his eyes. He loved this part. The thrill, the unpredictability, the chance to prove human skill against a superior force. Commander Emily Blake checked the communication systems. "Their scanners will try to track us," she said. "But they can't predict human movement. They can't see what's coming." Megan Foster, the engineering genius, tapped her console.
Our adjustments are ready. Fighters have bursts of speed they won't expect.
Lasers are tuned for precision. Shields are stable. Humans are ready. Daniel nodded. "Good. Let's begin." The first fighter soared into the void, followed by several others. Lucas led the flight, weaving in unpredictable patterns. They darted between stars and behind asteroids, making it difficult for the Empire to aim. The massive warships fired, sending long beams of energy that lit up the darkness. But the humans were already gone, twisting and turning in ways that seemed impossible. "Missed again!" Lucas shouted over the comms, laughter in his voice. "They're too slow!" Emily smiled. "They won't expect us to laugh while dodging their attacks. That is human strength." Back on the Empire's flagship, Admiral Collins slammed his fist on the console. "Why are they laughing? Why are they so confident?" "Every shot we fire misses," an officer replied, voice tight. "Sir, their maneuvers are unpredictable. Our scanners cannot follow them. Our formation is perfect, but they are everywhere at once." Collins growled. "Humans are impossible." Meanwhile, Daniel watched the battle unfold on the monitors. The Empire had numbers, size, and firepower. The humans had brains, speed, and daring. They were small but clever. "Lucas, circle their command ship," Daniel ordered. "Make them follow. Keep them distracted." Lucas grinned. "With pleasure, Captain." He led his fighters in a sharp loop around the Imperial flagship. The large ship fired continuously, its massive guns trying to track the small humans. Each shot missed. The humans laughed through their helmets. Megan tapped on her console. "Energy readings show their shields are strong, but their systems are rigid. They can't adapt quickly. That's our advantage. We move fast, we change, we surprise them." Emily nodded. "And they don't know it yet, but their confidence is their weakness. Overconfidence makes mistakes. and humans are ready to exploit those mistakes. The Empire's warships tried to adjust. Their formation shifted but slowly, too slowly. The human fighters, small and fast, danced through the gaps. Every time the Empire's weapons locked on, the humans twisted away. Daniel watched the display with calm determination.
Good work, everyone. Stay close to each other.
Stick to the plan. Remember, we are human. Clever, brave, unpredictable. And they will learn that the hard way. Lucas performed a daring loop around a massive cruiser, flying so close to the hull that the sensors briefly lost him. The crew of the Empire's ship panicked.
He's gone. Where did he go?
Daniel laughed softly. Right there in their blind spot, that's what humans do. Emily adjusted targeting and communication for the fighters. We can coordinate attacks from a distance. We don't need to be in the center of their firepower. Their size is their weakness. Small ships can outmaneuver large ones. The Empire's officers exchanged worried glances. They had trained for battles like this, for fights against other large fleets. But humans were not like anyone they had faced before. Humans fought with humor, with daring, and with cunning. Megan adjusted the propulsion again. Fighters can now make bursts of speed in unexpected directions. Even their missiles will struggle to hit us. Daniel nodded. Perfect.
Keep it up. Remember, the moment they think they have us cornered, we surprise them.
That is the human way. Lucas's squadron split into smaller groups, each group performing loops and sudden dashes. The Empire's warships fired continuously, but their shots were wild, missing by long distances. "Captain, their command ship is trying to aim at us," Emily said. "But they are too slow. Every maneuver we make puts us outside their firing arcs." Daniel smiled. "Good. Keep them busy. Keep them frustrated. Let them think they are in control."
On the Empire's flagship, Admiral Collins slammed his fist again. "They are mocking us.
They laugh as they dodge our attacks."
An officer swallowed nervously. Sir, it is not just the laughter.
It is their coordination. Small ships, but precise. They move as one, but unpredictably. It doesn't make sense. Collins growled. "We will fix that. Fire everything. I want them destroyed." The human fighters, however, were ready. They darted between beams of energy, using their bursts of speed to stay ahead. Lucas led a group close to the enemy command ship, firing small precision lasers at weak points in the hull. Each hit was small but effective. Megan monitored the damage. They're surprised. Minimal hits, but it's enough to shake their systems.
Keep it up,
Emily smiled.
They won't know what's happening until it's too late. That's human skill. Small, clever strikes that make a big difference.
Lucas's laughter echoed through the comms.
This is amazing! They think they can crush us, but we're having fun!
Too easy. Daniel shook his head, laughing softly. That's exactly how humans fight. Confidence, skill, and humor. That is the edge we have. Suddenly, an Imperial warship fired a massive barrage at a group of human fighters. The beams of energy lit up space, moving with deadly speed. The humans twisted and turned, each movement unpredictable. One fighter dipped behind an asteroid, another looped around the cruiser, and Lucas performed a sudden reverse thrust that sent him spinning past the massive guns. The Empire's officers shouted in frustration.
Impossible!
They should be dead. Daniel's eyes gleamed. No, humans are never easy targets. They adapt. They survive. And they laugh. Captain, the Empire is trying to coordinate a concentrated attack. They want to overwhelm us with numbers. But our agility is their weakness. They can't track us all at once. Megan nodded.
And our bursts of speed will make their concentrated fire miss every time.
They are predictable. We are not. Lucas darted between two massive warships, firing small but precise shots at weak points in their hulls. Sparks flew, shields flickered, and the Empire's crews panicked.
They're too small, too fast!
One officer shouted. Daniel smiled.
Exactly.
Humans do not need size to fight. We use brains, skill, and daring. That is how we win.
Emily adjusted the targeting systems.
Captain, we can now coordinate a strike on their smaller ships without being hit by their larger weapons. Daniel nodded. Do it. Keep the pressure on. Let them feel our presence, but never let them predict it. The human fighters perform complex maneuvers, looping and twisting around the massive Empire ships. Each movement was designed to confuse and frustrate. Each small strike caused disproportionate damage. The Empire's commanders grew desperate. Their training, experience, and firepower were useless against humans who moved unpredictably and laughed at danger. Lucas's squadron regrouped behind the enemy formation. Captain, he said, they're trying to trap us in a crossfire. I say we break through their center and show them what humans can do. Daniel nodded. Go. Remember, we are humans. We improvise. We adapt. We survive. And we make them look foolish while doing it. The fighters surged forward, passing between massive warships, firing precise shots, dodging deadly beams, and laughing through their comms. Sparks and explosions lit the darkness, but the humans remained calm, coordinated, and clever. On the Empire's flagship, Admiral Collins was furious. Stop them! Destroy them! How can they survive? How can they laugh at us? An officer said quietly, almost in fear. Sir, they are human. They fight differently than anything we've seen. They do not fear. They do not surrender. They laugh at danger. Collins clenched his fists. Impossible! Humans are supposed to be weak. Daniel, watch the screens. Not weak. Never weak. Clever, brave, unpredictable. And that laughter? That is their greatest weapon. It shows confidence, skill, and courage all at once. The human fighters continued their dance of movement, dodging, striking, and surprising the Empire at every turn. Each attack was clever, each maneuver daring. The Empire could not predict them. They could not intimidate them. Captain, Emily said, smiling, they're beginning to panic. Their confidence is cracking.
Daniel nodded. Good. That is exactly what we want.
Humans win with brains, courage, and laughter, and they are learning that the hard way. The battle raged, the stars lighting up with energy beams, sparks, and small explosions. The humans laughed, worked together, and moved as one unpredictable and daring. Even Admiral Collins had to admit in his heart that humans were unlike anything he had faced before. They were clever, brave, and fearless, and they were laughing at him. The Liberty Star floated calmly in space, surrounded by a swarm of human fighters. Outside, the Empire's massive warships glowed with power, their engines roaring as they tried to track the humans. But the humans were everywhere at once. Small, fast, and unpredictable. Every move they made was clever, precise, and impossible to predict. Captain Daniel Hayes stood on the bridge, calm as always, watching the monitors. His green eyes scanned the movements of both fleets. They are confident, he said, but their confidence is their weakness. They move like they have control, but humans will show them otherwise. Lieutenant Lucas Parker grinned from his fighter.
I can see it, Captain. They're trying to regroup, but they're panicking.
Every move they make now is slow and obvious. Time to strike. Commander Emily Blake adjusted the targeting system for the human fighters. Captain, we can hit multiple weak points on their command ship at once. They won't expect a coordinated attack from so many small fighters. Megan Foster, working in the engineering bay, tapped quickly on her console. I've adjusted the fighters again. Bursts of speed are ready for the strike. Lasers are tuned for maximum precision. We can hit their command ship without being touched. Daniel nodded. Perfect. This is the moment humans show their true strength. Not with raw power, but with cleverness, speed, and daring. Lucas's squadron moved into position. They flew in complex, unpredictable patterns, weaving around asteroids and each other. The Empire's scanners tried to track them, but the humans were too clever, too fast, and too unpredictable. Captain, they're trying to concentrate fire on us, Emily said. But our maneuvers keep them off balance. They can't aim at all of us at once. Daniel smiled.
Exactly.
Humans are small but clever.
That is our advantage. Their size is a weakness.
Our skill is our strength. The human fighters split into smaller groups, each targeting a different part of the Empire's flagship.
Lucas led one group straight at the command ship, while others targeted shields, engines, and weapon arrays. Sparks flew as small but precise lasers struck weak points. The Empire's systems flickered, shields strained, and panic spread among the crews. Admiral Collins watched in disbelief. How can this be happening?
They are small! They should not be able to hit us like this!
An officer swallowed nervously.
Their movements are impossible to predict. Each attack is clever and precise.
Our systems cannot keep up.
Collins slammed his fist on the console. Humans, impossible!
Back on the Liberty Star. Daniel clapped his hands. Good work. Keep the pressure on. Remember, humans are clever, adaptable, and fearless. We do not fight like anyone else. Lucas's fighter dodged a beam of energy, looped behind a cruiser, and fired a precise shot at the engine core. Sparks erupted. The cruiser shook, and alarms blared.
Direct hit!
Lucas shouted. Emily smiled. That's it. They don't know what's happening until it's too late. Humans hit small, but every strike matters. Clever attacks. Maximum effect.
Megan's adjustments made the fighters even faster. They think they can catch us, she said.
They can't! Every time they try, they miss!
Their movements are predictable. Ours are not. Daniel turned to the bridge crew. The Empire believes it is invincible, but humans have brains, courage, and teamwork. That is stronger than any weapon. Lucas's group continued their attack. They darted between beams of energy, twisting, turning, and striking weak points. Each hit caused sparks and system failures. The Empire's crew panicked.
Shields failing. Engines down.
Weapons offline. Emily laughed softly. They expected fear, but they found laughter, confidence, and skill. That is what humans do.
Daniel nodded. Exactly. Keep going.
Every small strike counts. Every clever move matters. Humans win not by brute force, but by using their brains.
On the Empire's flagship!
Collins shouted in frustration.
Stop them! Destroy them!
How can these small ships do so much damage? An officer replied quietly. Sir, they are human. They fight differently than anything we've ever faced. They are clever, fast, and fearless. And they are laughing at us. Collins' face turned red. Laughing?
They dare laugh at the Empire? Impossible!
But the humans were indeed laughing. Lucas and his squadron communicated with laughter and clever words over the comms, teasing the Empire as they struck.
Every move frustrated the enemy further.
Daniel watched carefully.
They are overconfident.
That is what we want. Humans thrive when the enemy underestimates them. Let them make mistakes. Megan monitored the energy systems. I've prepared another adjustment. Fighters can now perform sudden bursts of speed in random directions. They'll be impossible to target for a few minutes. Emily's eyes gleamed. Perfect. That's enough to break their formation completely. The Empire will struggle to coordinate now. Lucas led his fighters directly through the center of the enemy fleet. Massive warships fired continuously, but the humans twisted and turned, dodging every beam. Sparks flew, shields flickered, and small explosions rocked the Empire's ships. Daniel's voice was calm, steady. Humans win when the enemy is confident. They overestimate their power. We will show them that small, clever, daring moves can defeat massive fleets. The Empire's officer shouted, trying to regroup. Formation Delta, fire all weapons! But it was too late. Lucas's squadron had already reached the command ship. Small, precise lasers hit weak points in the shields and engines. Alarms blared, sparks flew, and the massive ship shuddered. Captain, their command ship is damaged, Emily said. If we keep this up, we can cripple it completely. Daniel nodded. Then we keep going. Humans do not give up. We adapt. We improvise, and we surprise the enemy every step of the way. Megan smiled. Their weapons are powerful, yes, but they are predictable. Our unpredictability makes us untouchable. The Empire doesn't understand humans at all. Lucas performed a daring maneuver, flying between two massive cannons and firing directly at the command ship's shield generators. Sparks exploded, systems failed, and the crew panicked. Emily laughed softly. They cannot hit us. Every move we make confuses them more, and their confidence is cracking. Daniel watched the Empire's fleet carefully. Humans are clever, brave, and daring. And laughter. Laughter shows confidence. That is their greatest weapon. Keep using it. The human fighters darted in and out, striking, dodging, and laughing. The Empire's massive ships fired constantly, but each shot missed, wasted on empty space. The humans were small but precise, clever, daring, and fearless. Colin shouted in frustration, "This cannot be!" Small ships, but they destroy us. An officer whispered nervously, "Sir, they are human. They fight differently than anything we've seen, and they are laughing at us." The Empire's fleet was faltering. Systems failed. Engines flickered. Shields dropped. Their confidence, once absolute, was shattered. Daniel turned to the bridge crew. This is it. The Empire believed they could intimidate us. They were wrong. Humans do not fear. Humans do not surrender. Humans improvise, adapt, and laugh in the face of danger. That is our strength. Lucas grinned as he fired a final strike at a weakened cruiser. Sparks exploded, systems failed, and the massive ship shook.
Direct hit, Captain!
They can't keep up, Emily smiled. We've shown them. Small, clever attacks, precise strikes, and confidence. That is what humans are. Megan nodded.
They will retreat soon. Humans don't just survive, they outthink the enemy.
And the Empire is learning the hard way. Daniel looked out of the observation window at the vast fleet. The massive ships, once so intimidating, were now faltering under the clever, daring, and fearless humans. The Empire had thought size and power would win, but humans had something the Empire did not understand. Brains, courage, and laughter.
Prepare for the next move, Daniel said calmly.
The Empire will not give up easily, but humans are ready. Clever, fearless, and unpredictable. We will win, not by size, but by being human. Outside, the stars glowed quietly. The battle raged, but the humans had already begun to turn the tide. The Empire was powerful, but humans were clever, daring, and unafraid. And the laughter of human pilots echoed through space, a sound that the Empire had never expected and could not understand. The first real strike had succeeded. The Empire had faltered. And humans had shown their true power. The space around the human colony ship Liberty Star was alive with motion. Small human fighters darted like fireflies, twisting and turning through the glow of the Empire's damaged warships. Sparks flew from enemy hulls. Engines flickered and alarms blared. The humans had done what no one thought possible. They had held their own against the most powerful fleet in the galaxy. Captain Daniel Hayes stood on the bridge, calm as ever, watching the battle unfold. His green eyes reflected the flashing lights on the monitors. "This is it," he said quietly. The Empire thought they could intimidate us. They were wrong. Now we show them the full strength of being human. Lieutenant Lucas Parker grinned from his fighter. They don't know what hit them. "I've never had so much fun." Commander Emily Blake adjusted the targeting system, watching the enemy's faltering formation. "Captain, their flagship is failing. Shields are down. Weapons are offline. They're trying to regroup, but they can't. They're panicking." Megan Foster, working furiously in the engineering base, smiled. Every system adjustment worked perfectly. Their massive fleet is struggling to keep up with our speed and precision. They cannot handle it. Daniel nodded. "Good. Keep the pressure on. The Empire will retreat soon, and we will show them that humans are not just clever,
They are unstoppable when united.
The human fighters launched a coordinated strike against the Empire's command ship. Lucas led the charge, flying between massive turrets and firing small but precise laser beams at the shield generators. Sparks exploded as systems failed. The massive ship shuddered, unable to respond effectively.
Emily watched the monitors. They are confused.
Their sensors can't track us. They're panicking. Their fleet is breaking apart. Outside, the Empire's warships flared with energy as they tried to fire on the humans. But each shot missed, wasted on unpredictable maneuvers and sudden bursts of speed. The humans laughed through their helmets, voices full of confidence and joy. Daniel smiled. Exactly. Confidence, skill, and courage. That is how humans win, not by size or firepower, but by brains and daring. Lucas's fighter zipped past a damaged cruiser, firing a final precision shot at the engines. Sparks flew, alarms screamed, and the massive ship began to drift. Direct hit, Captain. They can't move, he shouted. Megan clapped her hands. That's it. One by one, they're falling apart. They cannot keep up with humans' unpredictability.
Emily laughed softly. They thought intimidation would work.
They were wrong. Humans are fearless, clever, and always ready for a surprise. On the Empire's flagship, Admiral Collins was furious. He slammed his fist against the console. How is this happening? How can these small ships, these humans, be doing so much damage? An officer spoke quietly. Sir, they are unpredictable. Their tactics are clever, fast, and daring. And they laugh at us. It seems to demoralize our crews. Collins's face turned red with anger. Humans are impossible. We cannot control them, we cannot intimidate them, and now they mock us. Daniel watched the monitors calmly. That's right. Humans do not fear. Humans do not surrender, and humans always find a way. Laughter, courage, and clever thinking. It's stronger than any weapon. Lucas performed a daring maneuver, flying between two massive turrets and firing directly at the remaining shield generator of the Empire's command ship. Sparks and smoke erupted. The ship shook violently. Crew members shouted in panic. Emily smiled. Captain, their command ship is crippled. If we push a little further, we can force them to retreat completely. Daniel nodded. Do it. Humans adapt. Humans improvise. And humans never give up. The human fighters pressed their attack, dodging, striking, and confusing the Empire at every turn. Sparks and explosions lit the darkness of space, but the humans remained calm, coordinated, and confident. Lucas led a strike team directly at a smaller Imperial cruiser. Their engines flared as they zipped around turrets, firing precise laser shots at weak points. The cruiser shuddered and slowed, its systems failing. "Another one down!" Lucas shouted, laughter in his voice. Megan adjusted the energy output to the fighters. Captain, every burst of speed and laser precision is working perfectly. Their formation is shattered, and their confidence is gone. Emily nodded. They thought they could intimidate us. But humans never surrender. They are clever, daring, and fearless, and now the Empire sees it. Daniel watched calmly. This is what humans do. We survive, we adapt. We fight cleverly, and when the enemy underestimates us, we win. Outside, the Empire's fleet was in chaos. Ships were drifting, shields failing, weapons offline. Their crews were confused, terrified, and demoralized. The humans, small but clever and fearless, had turned the battle completely.
Collins slammed his hand on the console again. Retreat.
Retreat immediately. They are too fast. Too clever. We cannot win. The Empire ships powered down engines and began to flee. Sparks flew as human fighters performed daring passes, ensuring the retreat was complete. The Empire would not return soon. They had learned a lesson. Humans were not to be intimidated. Lucas's squadron flew in formation, circling the retreating enemy fleet. Captain, they're running. They can't face us. Emily smiled. Good. Let them see humans at full strength. Confidence, skill, courage, and clever thinking. That is humanity. Megan clapped her hands. The Empire's fleet may be large, but humans are unstoppable when united and smart. They'll never forget this battle. Daniel walked to the observation window, looking at the retreating ships. Today we showed them why. The Empire thought they could scare us, but humans are fearless. We win because we are clever, daring, and we never give up. Lucas landed his fighter back on the Liberty Star. That was incredible. I've never flown like that. We really made them look foolish, Emily laughed. They will remember this day. They thought intimidation would work, but humans laugh in the face of danger. Megan nodded.
Small, precise, clever attacks. Humans are unstoppable when they work together.
We've done it. Daniel turned to the crew. This is what humans are. Not the strongest, not the largest, but clever, brave, and unpredictable. Today, we won. And we proved something to the Empire and to ourselves. Humans do not surrender. Humans do not fear. Humans adapt, improvise, and laugh even when danger is everywhere. The crew gathered on the bridge, clapping and cheering. They had faced the most powerful force in the galaxy and survived. They had not only survived, they had won. Lucas grinned. Captain, I think they will think twice before trying to intimidate humans again. Daniel smiled. They will. And that is the lesson. Courage, brains, and humor. Those are the weapons of humanity. Never forget it. Emily looked at the crew with pride. We did it together. That is what humans do. United, clever, and fearless. Megan nodded. And never forget the laughter. That's what makes humans unstoppable. Confidence in the face of fear is stronger than any weapon. Outside, the Empire's fleet disappeared into the darkness of space. The humans had won. The battle was over. But the lesson was clear. Humans could not be intimidated, could not be crushed, and could never be predicted. Daniel looked at the stars. Today we showed them what it means to be human, and the galaxy will remember it. The crew cheered again. Laughter, smiles, and relief filled the Liberty Star. They had faced the impossible and succeeded. They had shown courage, cleverness, and fearlessness. And, most of all, they had laughed in the face of danger. Lucas clapped Daniel on the shoulder. Captain, humans are the best. I've never been prouder. Daniel smiled. That's right. Humans are clever, daring, and fearless. And they never surrender. Emily looked out the observation window. The stars look different today. We've proven something important, not just to the Empire, but to ourselves. Humans can face anything and win. Megan nodded.
And they will never forget it.
Clever humans, fearless humans, laughing humans. That is what makes us strong. Daniel turned to the crew. Prepare for the next mission.
The Empire will return, but they will remember this day, and so will we.
Humans win because we are clever, brave, unpredictable, and unafraid. That is who we are. The crew nodded, smiling, ready for whatever came next. The Empire had tried to intimidate them. The humans had not only resisted, they had laughed, fought cleverly, and won. The Liberty Star moved forward, carrying humans ready to face any challenge the galaxy could throw at them. They had proven themselves today. Fearless, clever, and united, humans were unstoppable. And the galaxy knew it